Welcome to Topic Talks, where we talk about the topics you care about and leave out the ones you don't.
We talk about what most news sources don't. Media, movies, and the multiverse.
We even invite guests to come talk topics with us.
Come join in on the fun.
Let's get started. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the giant conversation of this Topic Talks. I'm your host, Ernie Smith. Stop singing!
I'm not singing!
You were like,
Yeah, with the first part, but I stopped.
But you made me laugh.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, welcome to the giant conversation of this Topic Talks. I'm your host, Ernie Smith. Today with me, obviously, is Lucas.
Hi, everybody.
And missing again, once Lucas is here, is Mark.
Marky,
so, apparently I can't get you two in a room together.
No, I mean, that would explain why I'm always frustrated.
Anyway, we got a lot to talk about today, but first off, how was your weekend, Lucas?
It was pretty good. Yeah, I actually did something this weekend, which is abnormal.
It's abnormal for you to do something?
It's abnormal. It's very abnormal for me to do something on a weekend. Usually I'm sitting at home going, Netflix is a really nice friend.
Or you could go, man, I wish I had more friends.
man, I wish someone liked me. But no, I just hung out this weekend, went to a bar. The bar was fun. Don't have any money left because of the bar, but that's okay.
Did you go to the bar by yourself?
No, luckily I did have friends to go with the bar. I'm
okay.
not that lonely.
Well, you're just
I will go to B-dubs by myself, but I will not go to a bar by myself.
Going to a bar by yourself just sucks.
It does suck.
Well, drinking by yourself in general just sucks.
Yeah, you feel like the old man, like a Western movie.
Oh man, I missed you.
Ah, thank you. I didn't listen to the show last week. How was it without me?
It was good.
It was.
We had a guy named Earl.
You had Earl.
We had Earl.
My name is Earl.
He's a great guy. He's was in the military. He's switching over to, I guess, the Coast Guard.
It's still military, but
right. But he's switching from the Army to the Coast Guard. So.
Oh, okay, so less likely to get shot.
Right.
Basically.
Or something like that. He's a very great guy. Then Mark was his usual Mark.
Marky was Mark.
Marky Mark?
Mark and the Funky Bunch.
It's Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
But
anyway.
I it up sometimes.
No, my weekend was pretty boring. I mean, I worked Saturday. I went to church on Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what I did after church. I think I did pretty much nothing after church on Sunday.
It's always a wonderful time after church to do nothing.
And Friday, I don't know what I did.
Really?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm usually that busy that I did Relay for Life.
Oh, nice.
Right, yeah.
How many lives did you relay?
What?
How many lives did you relay?
I don't know.
Oh, that's...
I was irritated the whole time because last year Brandon and I did the sound system for this.
Yeah.
100% free. Okay, I was trying to take over for the guy that used to do it.
And then they paid somebody else to do it this year?
Well, no. I told her this year I was going to run sound again, but I was going to be on the committee and take care of all the scheduling and all that.
Yeah.
And she said, okay. And I talked to, because I'm in charge of the church growth committee at my church, and the person that's going off the session, so she's the one, I'm taking her place. Mm-hmm. I was talking to her about it, and she's usually the head of Relay. So I let her just keep doing that, because I'm still trying to fit into everything else. So I'm like, well, you just take care of that, and I'll, take care of everything else.
Mm.
And so I was talking to her, and she's like, well, there's really only 2 of us on the committee this year, and we're not going to hit, it's going to be a sock hop is the theme.
Oh, so
it's not going to be not going to be like a normal relay. Well, here's the thing. So apparently Relay's participation has been going down so much everywhere that the American Cancer Society is like, okay, there's no boundaries. There's no, because you used to have to do the walk. You used to have to. There were certain things that you had to do.
Yeah.
And they took all those certain things away, which gave them a little bit more freedom.
But I don't understand. If you want to cure cancer, don't do the one thing that Americans hate the most, which is freaking walking. I mean, gosh, the only reason I walk is to get a burger.
Now here's the misconception about it. You don't have to walk.
You can run too.
No, but I mean it's an event. Like the teams sell different things. So there's like teams selling hot dogs and hamburgers. There's teams selling it'd be great for you because you could be running around buying all this different food and
oh my god.
They sell shirts that say I, and then they got a heart on them with a breast cancer awareness symbol, and then say boobs on them.
I hurt boobs. I hurt my own boobs.
And then it says check them if you love them.
If I pinch them together, they do look like a heart.
But,
It's kind of scary.
no, anyway,
I have a medical condition.
Will you stop? So they sell a whole bunch of stuff. So it's kind of like a family event, but the people who are walking are usually sponsored. So it's not something that you have to walk.
Yeah.
Or you can be a member of a team, but you don't have to walk. You can take part in some of the events that they have.
Okay.
Anyway, so they took all the boundaries off and pretty much said you can do whatever you want. So they decided to do a sock hop instead of a walk, because most of the time at relay, most of the teams have already done most of their fundraising. Like my church does a spaghetti dinner, so we fundraise that way. We get a whole bunch of donations, so we come to relay with 90% of our money anyway.
Yeah, it's all ready to go.
Right, and then we just sell a few things and that's it. Well, we weren't selling much this year. We sold like a couple things. We did fruit once. We didn't want to do that again. We did water for a while. Now we just sold the things that we had left over from past years.
So spaghetti?
No.
Oh, that's good.
No.
Because that would be kind of nasty.
Well, I mean, we did sell spaghetti, but it was like right after the spaghetti dinner. Any sauce that was left, we packaged up and we sold that because the sauce is so good. Like I bought 2 containers of it.
Was it a meat sauce?
It was.
Oh, it's so good.
It was a good meat sauce.
It was a good meat sauce.
And it was cooked in a roaster.
Oh my gosh!
So we had 4 roasters cooking all this spaghetti sauce, and then we were doing the noodles and everything. So it was a good time. Anyway, no, but we were talking about like pins and bracelets and things like that we've had from past years that we sold. So we were just selling that and weren't really getting that into it because we were the only team that would go all out for this event.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I get there. So I was told they're not going to have a DJ. They were just going to work something out with the band for the sound system. Okay?
Okay.
I get an email, and there were a couple emails before relay, but then they're like, okay, the DJ's confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, gotta be kidding me.
Are you serious, Janet?
Seriously?
Are you serious, Janet?
Anyway, so I get there, and I see the guy setting up, and I can barely hear anything he's saying. He doesn't know how to use half of his equipment. His lights kind of suck. And here's my biggest irritation factor. Okay, so last year we did it for free.
Mm-hmm.
My friend, she offered to put his logo on the back of the relay shirts. Okay, she offered that for free. So they did that. So that was kind of cool. Every 2 minutes, she was up to our DJ booth going, "Oh, this isn't the right kind of music. It's supposed to be like island theme. Play island theme music." So we play like kind of the Kenny Chesney island theme country music. Is what we were doing, like Jimmy Buffett a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, "Don't just play all country." So we play a little bit of rock and roll. It's got to be island music. So finally...
Honey, there is no island music. We don't have a Hawaii... Israel is dead. We don't have Hawaii. We don't have island music.
So Brandon and I are like... April's like, well, why don't you... If she's that hard to please, why don't you just pay for the Pandora thing, go onto a Jimmy Buffett station, and just play that?
Oh,
so that's what we did. He paid for the Pandora fee or whatever.
Yeah.
We played Jimmy Buffett. She comes up, this is perfect. We're like, this is what we've been playing.
We've been doing this. You just can't.
So
you are just anal retentive to the point where we had to purchase something for a free event.
Right.
Thank you, lady.
Well, and it wasn't that expensive, so it's not really too. And then he canceled it after we were done.
Fair
anyway, so. But I was so irritated because she was not up to his booth once, and this was supposed to be a sock hop. There was no oldies music played.
None?
None.
How new?
Like Smash Mouth new.
Dude, it's 2000s. That's not... Like, a sock hop I could understand, like, the 80s or something. Maybe even the 70s.
Like, she played Grease, or he played Grease once.
Oh, gosh.
But, it was... and I'm sitting there, I'm stewing in this, and people are getting irritated, and I'm like, you know what? Let me stew, because this is irritating.
Mm-hmm.
Well, come to find out, he was doing it for free, too. He was the DJ that did all the relays.
Why does he keep being asked back?
I don't know.
If he sucks that bad, I would be like...
Well, from my point of view, because I'm very harsh on DJs.
As one yourself, yes.
Being one myself, I'm very harsh on DJs. And so that could be it, but... It was like, he was playing, like, he played the Boot Scootin' Boogie. I'm like, this is not a sock hop. This is, like, it might as well have been, like, a prom theme.
Yeah.
Like, this is not a sock hop. You know, a sock hop would be...
I don't know a single prom that would play Boot Scoot and Boogie. I mean, I love the song, but I don't know a single prom that would play it.
I mean, I think I've played it once, and it went over pretty well.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, lucky you.
That was a little while ago.
Clarkston, I don't think would fly, but...
Well, no, that was in a place where pretty much you could play anything, and they would dance to it.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, you could play
So it was a
Sweet
Catholic...
Caroline, and they would grind to it. It was really weird.
So it was Catholic school, then.
No! No! Anyway, so getting kind of off topic.
Just a little... Well, it really wasn't a topic, yeah.
Anyway, so, but that was my weekend. I was thoroughly irritated. I'm going to offer my services next year and say, listen, you know, I want to run the sound system. I want to make, you know, I will schedule everybody if you want the help. If not, I'm not going to be on the committee. That's the only thing I'm useful for.
Yeah, is electronics and sound.
Right.
So, but speaking of people that offer great services to their community.
I don't know if this is a great service to their community.
It's kind of a great service. It's a mediocre service.
It's really funny, though.
She's doing her part.
She is.
It's just she's a very small part.
So, this grandma needs to chill.
Just a little bit.
Really bad. So there's this grandma that found a great way to slow down the cars in her street to make it safer for the kids. And what she has found to do is to take a hairdryer and stand out by her fence and point it at cars.
Yeah.
Pretending it is like one of those speed trap guns.
Speed guns, yeah.
And it works.
Oh my gosh.
And the funny part about it is she's not even doing it right. Like, you know how cops will sit there and they point it directly at the same thing?
Yeah.
She literally will take it and follow the car.
Oh gosh. That should prove to you people are so stupid they don't understand how stuff works.
Right. I mean, I've been in a cop car and we didn't have like the handheld one.
Yeah.
This was actually kind of cool. He had one where it had a sensor mounted on the front windshield, pointed outward. One mounted on the back windshield, pointed outward, and then just the actual number thing mounted on the dash. So we're just sitting there, and he can just angle it to whatever direction he wants to go. So he angles the front one towards the one side because he backed in. You know how you get those in between the
and the medians and the highway.
Yeah, the things where the cops pull.
Yeah.
So he pulled into that and then backed up so he could drive either way.
The things where you're not supposed to go into to turn around, but I see plenty of people doing it anyway.
Oh, there's this long one right down the road from my grandma's house.
Yeah.
It's a big, long dirt strip, and that's what it's for. It says do not enter. I've seen so many cars in traffic jams that pull through that. I'm like, dude, that is so long. And at that point, there were woods right there. I'm like, dude, one day someone's going to do that, and there's going to be a cop on the other end.
For sure.
And they're going to be like, oh, shit. Like,
they're up north, like once you get past, like, Saginaw,
and
in Bay City, those medians do legitimately become huge.
Yeah.
Like, they are, like, you can fit in, like, 2 or 3 semis
right
in those areas. So I would love to see someone try that, especially between, like, between certain miles, there's like always cops there. So
right.
It'd be very interesting to watch someone try.
Yeah. No, but anyway. So, but he would back up into that so he could pull either direction, and he turned the front one towards one side of the road and the back one towards the other side of the road, and we were just sitting there watching speeds.
Just sitting there watching like this.
And it was actually kind of funny because he had told me that he would never pull somebody over.
Yeah.
That was unless they were going faster than he would go on his day. Like if he was driving,
yeah,
says he goes about 80, 85 when he's not working. Okay. He said anything over 85.
He takes it.
He would take it.
Mm-hmm. That's all right.
But I mean, like, that's kind of understandable. Like if he does it when he's out of uniform.
Don't pull someone over.
He won't pull somebody over. But if he does, like, if that's over what he would do,
mm-hmm.
and 80-85 is a fairly good, like, a lot of cops won't pull you over for going 80.
Yeah, but 85.
85 is stretching it.
You're stretching it.
But he said high 80s. So if they're in, like, the high 80s, he'll pull them over. If they're in kind of, like, the low, you know what I mean? Because there's people who go between 85 and 80.
Yeah.
They'll, like,
just back and forth, yeah.
Yeah, back and forth between it. Because I don't know about you, but unless I put cruise on, I can't stay like one speed. I have to kind of go up a little bit and then down a little bit. And
I can't in my regular car, but if I ever use my parents' car, my dad's Jeep, that thing is just so crappy
mm-hmm.
that I have to. But did you hear about the cop that pulled over another cop?
No.
Dude, it was insane. It was this whole dash cam video of this lady cop pulled over this dude who was in a cop car. Like they were both in cop cars, right? She's in hers going
Different jurisdiction?
No, same jurisdiction. It looked like a state. They looked like both like state. Well, no, one was a state officer, one was a county officer.
Oh.
So the state officer pulled the county officer over, I think.
Nice.
I believe it. It'd be even better if it was the roles were reversed and it was a county officer pulling over a state trooper. That'd be hilarious. But this dude goes whizzing past her. I mean, like, she's on the highway. She's probably going the speed limit. This dude's going probably like 85, 90.
No lights on?
No lights on. Just, that thing that some cops do because they can get away with, I'm just going to go through this red light because guess what? I was going to stop me, huh? So he's going down the highway and she's like, oh, not today. And she flips the lights on. She chases this dude. I am not kidding. This whole entire video is like 10 minutes long. She chases this dude who's going like 85 between lanes, side to side on this highway for 10 freaking minutes. And finally he pulls over. He's like, after she pulls him over, she gets out of the car fast as heck, pulls out her gun.
What?
And says, get out of the car! Get out of the car right now! And this guy's like, what? Whoa, she's like, no, you're not going that fast ever again. It's like, oh my. Yes! Happy to see a cop that's going that fast finally get pulled over by another cop. It was so lovely. But Grandma here. Grandma's doing the work of the Lord.
Well, and it's not in the U.S., so once again, we're kind of slow on the ticket as Americans.
Crazy nut from Nottinghamshire, England, and she's just like, slow down, the kids are gonna get hit. That's I don't know what people from Nottinghamshire sound like. It's just a crazy British accent.
Anyway, she said this is a very fast road, and there are a lot of children in the area, and then I'm worried that one of them will be killed or seriously injured.
Yeah.
I would have, just a minute, how that's phrased, I would have said seriously injured or killed.
I mean, it sounds weird, but, it is England. They do some things backwards there. They drive on the left side of the road. They think that beans are an acceptable breakfast time meal. It's a crazy little place over there, that freaking island in the middle of the sea.
Oh, good Lord.
Just bugger off. But this is hilarious.
I
absolutely love it.
Did you watch the video?
No, I haven't.
There's like a little 2-minute clip, and it shows how she does it.
I really hope she's.
And then she goes, look how, or she's like, look at those taillights, look at him slow down. I'm like,
I really hope this lady is just as crazy as I think she is. Oh, she looks. Oh my gosh. Okay, the only difference, because there's a little thumbnail of the video on this page. The only difference between the thumbnail and what I thought she was going to look like is I thought she was going to be in a nightgown. That's the only difference. I pictured someone with a buttoned-up hairstyle who was probably overweight is going, slow down, you're going too fast.
She kind of looks like she is in a nightgown.
I mean, it's a long sleeveless shirt, but dang, that was like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy I got it right. Oh my gosh. But,
oh man.
But she is doing a good thing for this community. A little crazy though.
A little crazy.
I mean, more importantly, I don't know why you would slow down. Because if I'm looking at someone going, even if it was a radar gun, she went to the military surplus store and she got herself a radar gun to track people's speeds. If I see this old woman standing in her front yard going like this, like, no, you're going too fast, please slow down, I'd be like, no!
I think I would go faster.
Probably, I'm like, no, screw you, I'm going to go fast.
No, just go around the block and see what the look on her face is if you go speeding past. Like, every time you go past, you go faster.
Yeah. So start at the speed limit, then go 3 miles faster, then 6 miles faster, then 10 miles
Just
faster.
keep going up and see what the look on her face is as she going.
And then it's coming again. Just watch her freak out. Hey, oh no, the children! And then, yeah. I mean, this street. She's like, she says this is a very fast road, and there are lots of children in this area. I'm sorry, but this road doesn't look like it should be more than like 30 miles an hour.
Right.
This looks like I don't know how fast this actually is. Like I kind of want to figure.
And it looks like a hairdryer.
Oh, it looks exactly like a hairdryer. Like it's not bulky or anything. It's not like an old school hairdryer. So it's not huge. It's like sleek.
Yeah.
I don't.
And then it looks like she cut the cord off of it. So she's cut the cord off of a hairdryer just so she can.
She's bananas.
B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
Oh man,
dude.
I just posted the Topic Talks Facebook page a picture, the video, the link to the story.
Yeah.
And it's got the picture of the woman on it.
Oh gosh.
So you can see what she looks like.
And if you had the same thought process as me, good for you, because I legitimately thought this woman looked exactly the way I thought she looked before I even saw her. Oh gosh. Oh. Bless you, Granny. Bless you for all the things that you do for us. You're so sweet. You're so kind. Thank you.
Oh man. My. Well, now that I made you laugh,
yes,
I think this next one's gonna make you cry.
Oh gosh.
So,
it's not about. No, I'm not gonna say that. Never mind.
It's about a dog.
Oh gosh. Is he dead?
No.
Oh gosh. Is he alive?
Yes.
Oh gosh. Did he find a family? Was he homeless and did he find a family?
Well, listen and see.
Oh gosh.
So there was this dog who was left in an abandoned building.
Oh gosh.
With a heart-wrenching note. His name is Buddy. He's a Labrador Retriever. Labradoodle. Thank you.
Which now I don't care if he finds a home. I hate that dog.
So his name is Buddy, and he was left in a building which was soon to be the new shelter, the new dog shelter.
So whoever leaves in there's like, it's gonna become a dog shelter soon enough. They'll find him.
Yeah.
Well, they're doing construction. They'll find this little guy.
Anyway, and this takes place in Illinois. So, and Buddy was crammed up in this small cage. It was too big for him, or too small for him, with no food, no water, and a note. In the note, you ready to cry?
Yes.
The note says, "Hi, my name is Buddy. I have all my shots. I took flea medication today, and I have outgrown the apartment I lived in, and I need a new home with a big yard to run in, and am amazing with children. It is very hard for me to leave the home where I am loved and cherished, but hope that I can bring joy to my new family."
It's bullcrap. Right there. Okay, hang on. Before whatever happens after this. Okay, first, you're a jerk for leaving your dog. Worst part is he's putting it in the way like a dog was there. I've outgrown my home. No! You gave up on your dog! Quit lying! And then he's like, hey, if I could find a new home, that'd be great. Meaning, I'm freezing cold out here! I have no blankets, I have no bed, I am covered in dirt! Someone love me. Like, I don't understand why people think like that's okay. Like, I don't have room for the dog. We'll find a place to put him. I did. Where? Somewhere where no one lives. Where there are
or get the balls to actually take him to the shelter and say,
just put on Facebook like, hey, I can't have my dog anymore. He's too big. I didn't think he was going to get this big. More importantly, how does a Labradoodle outgrow an apartment? It's not a freaking Doberman or a Saint Bernard or a Rottweiler.
Or a German Shepherd.
Or your giant German Shepherd. Gosh, it's not even a Great Dane. Like, it's not the Clydesdale of all dogs. So, come on, dude. Like, what bullcrap are you trying to pull here saying that I've outgrown my home? Piss off, dude.
Anyway, at least he was nice to give him all his shots before he...
I mean, if at this point, if he didn't have all his shots, I'd be a little concerned.
Right.
Because if he's leaving a dog, I'm assuming it's not a puppy.
No.
Because if it's outgrown its home, it's not a puppy. And if he's saying, oh, the puppy outgrew its home, yeah, this dog is like a fully developed dog. That's a that doesn't look like a Labradoodle, does it? Oh, it kind of does. That's a little weird. Anyway, I don't like Labradoodles, so... But... No, this is just so... It's so sad because people are so stupid. Like, the level of stupid that you have to be...
Well, you've met my grandma's dog, right? Sadie, the little one?
Which one?
Oh, maybe you haven't.
Probably not.
There's this little dog that my...
yapping things that you call dogs upstairs.
No, she's bigger than that.
Okay, good.
She's a mutt, actually. We're not sure what all, like, breed she has.
She's just frumpy and you love her for it.
Anyway... So this dog was originally my girlfriend's sister-in-law's dog, okay?
Okay.
And my girlfriend's sister-in-law, her name's Britt. Britt rescued her from a home. Now get this, because this will make you mad.
Okay.
It was in a trailer park.
Already starting off to a wondrous back setting.
And this dog was chained to a couch inside.
Oh, I mean, at least you could lay on the couch, right?
Being fed cat food.
Oh.
Because they didn't see a reason in buying dog food and cat food because they had cats.
Oh, jeez.
And she got out once, or she was chained to the couch because she got out once.
Yeah.
And the head of the
association,
the association or whatever, the threatened to kick him.
Trailer park supervisor.
Right. Yeah, pretty much threatened to kick him out if they saw the dog again.
Yeah.
If the dog got out again. So when they put her out on literally a 3-inch leash. Maybe
so you couldn't even get on the couch.
Well, no, that was outside.
Oh, jeez.
Right. So she could barely get out the door to do what she had to do.
Yeah, she couldn't dookie.
Anyway, so they put a post on Facebook saying, hey, can't keep the dog anymore, blah, 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 blah. Just kind of like what you said.
Yeah.
So Britt came in and saw these conditions and knew immediately she was going to take the dog. Whether she was going to keep her or not, knew immediately she was going to take this dog.
Because you can't leave the dog.
I wouldn't have left that dog there. Anyway, so she paid the money, got the dog, trained her. She was very skittish. She didn't like guys, so we had a feeling she was abused.
Probably.
By a gentleman, maybe or maybe not with a beard.
Or a very, very masculine-looking woman.
Right.
We will never know.
Well, because she has a very, she doesn't like men.
Yeah.
Unless she's been around them a lot.
Yeah.
She doesn't like guys. So... Anyway, Britt kept her for the longest time, and that was her dog, because she's got a Doberman that she's had since she was a puppy, but that's her daughter's dog, pretty much.
Yeah.
And they've got a Min Pin, and again, that's her daughter's dog, pretty much.
Uh-huh.
Sadie didn't like her daughter. Sadie liked Britt.
Uh-huh.
And her husband, Matt's brother, didn't have a dog. He didn't care. He had 3 already.
Uh-huh.
So it was good for a while, and... Riley, the daughter, was very... I don't want to say she was abusive. She just didn't know how to be with animals.
How old was the daughter?
She was 3.
Okay. I was hoping it was like a 19-year-old. Like, what is
that? No. She's young. Anyway, so Sadie snapped at her one day, and Britt's like, okay, that's it. So we saw her up on this page, and we'd originally gotten Red, one of our Yorkies, for Grandma. But Grandma didn't realize that Red can't have certain things because of his breed. He's just not allowed to have certain things. She'd feed him more than he could eat because he has a little tummy.
He got a little bit of roly-poly.
Anyway, no, he didn't get that, but it was just she'd keep feeding him and feeding him and feeding him, and he'll keep eating and eating and eating as long as it's people food.
Yeah, true.
So we're like, okay, Yorkie, not a great idea for Grandma.
Probably not.
So we saw this mutt and we contacted Britt. We're like, Britt, why didn't you tell us? We're kind of looking for something for my grandma. And originally my grandma was like, oh, I hate dogs. This is she is in love with this dog. The dog went missing for a few days, and my grandma
sobbed.
Lost it.
Oh, wow.
She had a couple heartfelt posts on Facebook. Anyway, but the story that I was trying to get across is the conditions that this dog was in before before Britt got to her.
Yeah.
People are like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was we reported on a pit bull who was a fighting dog, and because it lost its fight, there was some kids who, on video, cut off his ears and I think his nose. They like mutilated this dog while it was still living.
Jeez. I saw one.
I think they got arrested too.
Well, the two I always think of. There's one going around Facebook a lot recently. This kid's like super glued this dog and then threw him in mud.
Ugh.
So this thing was caked in like mud and stuff, so it couldn't really move too well.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, the animal rescue people got to him and they cleaned him off, and he moves fine now. But the mud was so bad that he looked like he didn't have a foot, but it was just caked in crud, right? But no, though I was when I was still doing deliveries and stuff for board irons and planting trees, I had to go to this house one time and they had rescued a dog, and I think it was from this big like whole like fighting dog circuit. Like it was some kind of Doberman.
Right.
It looked like, I don't know what exactly. I can't remember what it was exactly. Honduran something or other. And the breed is so loved, but they have to clip their ears when they're younger, else they get ginormous ears, right?
Right.
Well, whoever clipped this dog's ears kind of botched the clipping. In the sense of she has no ears. Like next to no ears. And it's so sad. And I asked her, like, well, does it affect her? Does it make her hear worse, or does it like just make her hear absolutely everything? She's like, it's terrible because she hears everything. Like because she can't like direct her ears like to block out sound.
Right.
Like with Charlie, right? He's got high top ears, so he can kind of turn like where it's coming from and whatnot.
Yeah, he can.
Yeah.
He's got freaking satellites on his head.
And like I got 2 Labradors, right? So they have floppy ears, but they just open backwards or forwards, and they can kind of guess where it's coming from.
Right.
But this dog couldn't do that at all. So it just hurt everything. It's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? It's like it just so freaked out by the simplest stuff. But it's a sweet dog, very sweet dog. But just like, you poor thing.
Anyway, back to Buddy. So the girl who was in charge of the Humane Society, which was the Henry County Humane Society, said that she's been the manager for 3 years and has never seen anything like this. Of course, it was scared to death. It was a little nervous. Buddy's doing great now. Let me see. He's in the Humane Society. Well, part of the article talks about the Humane Society, and it's kind of not what I want to cover.
Yeah.
It says he's wonderful, and they had, after the story went public, they had so many people interested in adopting Buddy, they actually had to cut off the referrals.
Really?
Yeah, like they're still trying to go over the amount of people that wanted to adopt him because they couldn't get through him fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but this is just... He even looks like a good pup. Like, he doesn't look like that bad of a... I mean, you can't really tell much from a picture, but they said
he doesn't look like an vicious dog.
They said he's high energy, and I think that's kind of what it was. I wonder if he was really high energy.
And the guy was just like, yeah, the person's like, I can't really take care of this thing.
Well, and I mean, like, I have a high energy dog in a small house. Like, I have a house.
Yeah.
I have a very, very, very small yard.
True.
So I gave Charlie as much running room as I can by giving him an electric fence.
Yeah.
But we also take him to the dog park.
Yeah.
We take him out to stores.
Yeah.
We take it, it's when you have a big dog in a small area, you have to just deal with what you have.
Exactly.
And now that we're kind of getting him trained to where we can take him off leash at like my grandma's, I can take, instead of going to the dog park, we can just go to my grandma's, for like me and him to play, and I can throw the ball and because we're working on fetch, because I'll throw it and he'll grab it and he'll bring it towards me and he'll get to a certain spot and then he'll turn and kind of like go around and like, you can't get me. And I'm like, you're supposed to bring it back and drop it. And then I'll throw it again.
Yeah.
So we're working on that, but that way I can do stuff like that, because if he's playing ball, he has no desire to run.
Yeah.
And then I was worried, and April's like, she's like, just come on, he'll follow. So we walked around, and right when he lost sight of us, he started following.
Where'd you go?
That's pretty much what it is.
Can't find you.
That's pretty much what it is. Anyway,
But yeah, whoever let Buddy go, oh, screw you, pal.
Big mistake.
Big time. Like, not even just because you're losing an awesome looking dog, or a nice looking dog, but, just you're a terrible human being.
Yeah.
Just like my opinion of you, if I ever were to meet you, even if you were just like the nicest human being in the world, like you're just you give and you give and you, I'd still hate your rotten guts because you would abandon a dog in a building where there is nothing.
In a building where there is nothing.
Exactly. Words that don't make sense when used in that particular order.
Right. Anyway, so moving on. So here's another one. I thought I'd put 2 cry ones in the same because you did pretty good with the last one. So I feel like I'll unleash this one on you.
Oh, it's a BuzzFeed one. I probably won't cry too much.
Okay. I love BuzzFeed. I love BuzzFeed. So I was scrolling on BuzzFeed the other day, if you couldn't tell, and there is a post that I found, or an article about a post that I found that apparently people are getting really emotional over. And it is about this dad that walked his daughter to school on her first day of school and on her last day of school.
Yeah.
Now, you're probably thinking, oh, her last day of elementary school. No, her last day of high school.
There's so many awes in this response section. It's kind of almost vomit-worthy. Aww.
Anyway, so 18-year-old Brittany and her dad, Jason, they live in a small town in Texas where you can pretty much walk to anywhere.
Yeah.
And so last Thursday was her last day of high school. And so her father decided, because of a picture that he found of him walking her to school as a little girl. See? And
yeah, I got it pulled up. I can
okay,
see.
as long as you got it pulled up.
Oh, yeah.
And so seeing this old photograph, he decided, because when she was 5, he was walking at her kindergarten. He decided that he was going to walk her to her last day of high school.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like he walked her to school on her first day of school ever, and walked her on her last day of like public school ever.
Yeah.
And she said it was kind of embarrassing, but it was really sweet. She said the father said he was holding back tears. It was an emotional time.
I'm sure.
Yeah, me too. Like I said, she said it was a little bit embarrassing, but
It's a sweet gesture.
yeah, it is. And they've got a side-by-side photo. What?
I scrolled down to the comments section. The very first thing is, wow, her dad is deaf a DILF. That's the first one! Oh my gosh! I mean, yeah, but come on, man. This is supposed to be a sweet story. Oh gosh. But no, that's nice. I like it.
No, it is a good story.
I'm not gonna cry over it. I mean,
but they have a cool.
You know what would make me freaking cry is if like her dad walked her to her first day, like,
and then died.
No,
Oh.
I've been like, oh, that sucks. No, if like he enlisted in the military like when she was like in grade school, and he's been in there for her entire like education so far, and he came home on a surprise visit home and walked her to school on her last day of high school, I would have bawled my eyes out because that is so sweet and that is awesome. But I mean, it's not to discredit this dad at all, because that's like a really like sweet gesture, and that's something she'll remember for the next 3 months, and then she'll go to school and get blackout drunk, so she won't remember it.
No, I think this is something that she'll remember for the rest of her life.
I hope so.
And because they got pictures of it, may even pop up in her like wedding. You know how some people do like a wedding slideshow?
Uh-huh.
It could pop up in there somewhere,
Yeah,
of
sure.
like her, of like a little girl, and then they go through, and then like her dad walking her on her last day of high school, and then more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe. But yeah, I just thought this was cool. It made me think, well, if I ever have a daughter, I might do something like this. If it's, well, no, I don't care if it's a thing. I might still do it just cause.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm gonna be like that dad we talked about a few months ago, where he was like dressing up just to embarrass his daughter.
Oh yeah.
And he would get out of the car if she was playing with her phone.
Mm-hmm.
That would be me.
People are pointing out something very interesting though. He looks like he got younger in the pictures. Like, he has not aged. He's like Keanu Reeves.
Yeah,
Hasn't
he
aged
doesn't look like he's aged.
one bit.
Not
In
at all.
13 years, the man looks the exact same.
Yes.
Except now he has stone or acid wash jeans instead of regular blue jeans. But that's okay.
And stubble.
And stubble.
He's got pretty mean looking beard going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did say. Why did he get younger?
Yeah. No, this is awesome. I like this. I like little stuff like this and makes you realize, hey, not everyone's crazy in this world.
So apparently she was shocked by the tweets, or by her tweets' popularity.
Yeah.
She said, "I was like, oh my lord, what's going on?" She said as she's moving out for college in around 2 months.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be shocked too if people were going, hey, can your dad slide into my DMs? Like, quit using his daughter to hit on him. Like, that's awkward as heck. Like, if you ever been from a divorced family and all of a sudden a random person shows up, hey, I'm dating your mom. Ah! You know? Why do that on Twitter? Like, hey, is your dad free on Friday night?
No, go away.
I'm asking for a friend.
I'm asking for a friend.
That's
man.
My. But it's cute. It's cute.
It is cute.
It's very nice.
Yeah, it is. It is. You know what else is very nice?
Is pizza?
No.
Movie Madness Monday!
Movie Madness Monday!
So you may have noticed, since Mark's not here, he didn't give us any content, so we're skipping Mark's Multiverse. Boo. Anyway, so it's time for Movie Madness Monday, and the first one I think is very funny, simply because I hate the new Ghostbusters movie.
Oh no.
And this makes it that much better.
Wait a minute, is Dan Aykroyd commenting on the Ghostbusters movie?
No, Dan Aykroyd's blaming the director for over budget.
Oh my gosh.
So
Dan Aykroyd, you legend!
So the movie had a budget of what was it?
144 million, but went over it.
Thank you.
By spending 229 million.
Yeah.
Gosh, dang, that's $80 million.
Well, and that's just in production.
That's just production?
That was just production.
Oh gosh.
You didn't take into
like that's not the total budget?
No, that's just the production budget.
Oh gosh.
So he dipped into
oh my.
So he dipped into the marketing budget and other expenses like that. He spent a lot of money on here. And Dan Aykroyd knows exactly why.
Why?
He made a post that said the girls that are in it, Kate McKinnon, Melissa McCarthy, Kristen Wiig, what a wonderful players they are. And Leslie Jones.
Did he forget Leslie Jones?
No, and Leslie Jones. I was really happy with the movie, but it cost too much. And Sony does not like to lose money. It made a lot of money around the world, but just cost too much to make. Making it economically is not feasible to do another one. So that's too bad. The director, he spent too much on it. Apparently, he did not shoot scenes that were suggested to him and several scenes that were going to be needed, and he said, nah, we don't need them.
Dude, if you're going to do a Ghostbusters reboot, listen to the people that made it funny the first time.
Right.
Gosh.
So then he's like, then we tested the movie, and they needed them. So he had to go back and about 30 to 40 million in reshoots.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
30 to 40 million dollars just to reshoot scenes?
So and then Dan Aykroyd continues. He's like, so he will not be on a Sony lot anytime soon.
Dude.
Dan Aykroyd called him out.
Gosh, that's sad.
I'm pretty sure he posted that too.
I hope so. I mean, what the heck? Like this movie already
it sucks.
This movie already divided America worse than, the election ever did. And now you get Dan Aykroyd going, spending too much freaking money. Why are you spending so much freaking money on this thing? We did it with a dime and a paperclip back in 1980 something.
Right. He's like, I'm one of the people that made the first one popular. Listen to me.
Let's just listen. I have a suggestion. Nah, you weren't funny. I know, funny. I got Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy to star in this movie. And then I got Chris Hemsworth. I'm so funny. It's like, shut up.
No, anyway, so, yeah, but Dan Aykroyd called this director out. I love it so much because the only reason I liked the Ghostbuster movie was the cameos.
Yeah.
The story was kind of okay. It could have been split up into two different stories.
Really?
Because there was really no bad guy. Like, the bad guy, well, I guess he was kind of a bad guy. I don't know. It took too long. Like, we thought the movie was going to be over. And then it continued.
We found the ending.
It was like Jurassic Park 3 all over. I think it was 3. Was 3 the one where it turned into Godzilla? Like the ship goes.
That was 2.
Okay.
You confuse those every time you bring them up.
I'm sorry.
Remember, 2 is where it's in San Francisco. 3 is when it goes, Alan. In the plane.
They should have just stopped with 1.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that fact.
That's why I get them confused. Is because they're
after 1, I don't pay attention.
They're pretty much crap. But no, anyway, and my biggest problem is that they don't pay homage at all to the original 2.
Except for Slimer, who wasn't even in the original Ghostbusters. He was in the cartoon.
No, he was in the original.
Oh, he played less of an important.
No, he wasn't nearly as important of a role.
Yeah.
In the cartoon, he was like their pet.
Yeah, but the kids.
Which was funny.
But the kids love Slimer. Exactly, kids love Slimer.
Right.
So.
But well, I mean, no, they had the classic like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and like all those, but they didn't. It was like, oh, this is a new idea. We're gonna come up with this, and then they did the whole like, let's buy a firehouse. Yeah, we can't spend that much. We're just gonna buy this little building. I'm like, because I saw that they were gonna buy a firehouse. I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna be. And then they're like, no, we can't afford that. And I'm like, you suck. You.
It's a reboot, but you kind of gotta use some of the stuff. Otherwise, a reboot's gonna suck.
Well, and all the gadgets were different. It was bad.
I think I'll play it for you later.
Well, like I said, my favorite part was the cameos because you had Dan Aykroyd and you had all the other guys. But I cannot think of their names. Bill Murray, and then
though I can't remember the.
I'm trying to remember what
Ernie something.
I don't know. I'll look it up.
Okay, but because one of them died, so.
Well, he was in it too technically because they had a bust of him.
No, but they had his son do a cameo.
Did they?
Yeah, did you?
I missed that one.
Oh, well, yeah, they had his son do it because he's dead.
Right.
I think that's what I heard, but
I would still consider that he did a cameo because it like his face.
His face did a cameo, but he didn't do a cameo.
But what I'm saying is like they at least put him somewhere in.
You know what would have been funny?
What?
It would have actually been legit funny
if he was a ghost.
If they made him a ghost. Or if they,
I would have laughed.
Or if they had like dubbed him like the modern scientist of a ghost or whatever, like some kind of like crazy. I can't think of a name right off the top of my head for it.
Like the guru of
cryptozoology or something like that, right? So, and just have him, but he's dead. So just have him like they have with Vladimir Lenin in Russia, where he's like frozen, but they still have his casket out so people can walk by and see him. That would be hilarious.
That'd be way too much.
Did you know that they do that?
No.
Yeah, Vladimir Lenin is still seriously sitting in Russia in a glass case, preserved, so people can walk by his dead body going, that's the man that destroyed this country right there. Look at that Bobby still. But
man.
Honest Trailers did a funny.
I love Honest Trailers.
They did it for the Ghostbusters reboot. And they were like, watch as all 4 people try to be the comic relief at the exact same time. And I'm like, hey, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're very much close. I mean,
they were very much dead on.
They were very much dead on. Oh gosh, I thought the issue with this with this movie was over. I thought all the negative press that could have gotten had come and gone. We didn't have to worry about it again. It was done. People remember it. They hate it. They love it. Whatever it is. And we were all good. We were all happy again. We were all whole as a nation. And then Dan Aykroyd says, one more thing.
By the way,
You kind of went $80 million over budget. So,
they had Sigourney Weaver in there too.
Sigourney Weaver.
So she was in the end. They
It
had
is with
Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, like I said, the bust of Harold Ramis.
Yeah.
And then they had, where's the other guy? I know he's in here somewhere. It was the guy we had casted for when we redid the Justice League. We casted him as the Green Lantern.
Did we?
Yeah.
No, it was a different guy, wasn't it?
No, it's the same guy.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, it can't be.
Yeah, it is.
No.
Yes,
I don't think so.
it is.
But no, the fact that this got back into the limelight again it's just sad. It is just sad for these poor people.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it's funny. Honestly, I think it's hilarious that he spent way over budget on a movie that he just... Ernie Hudson.
Yep, there we go. Found it.
But, yeah. So, Ernie Hudson was in there, and actually I love the role that he played. So, you know the one actress that everybody was, like, bashing for being in the movie? I don't remember what her name was.
Oh, Leslie Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why people...
He played her uncle.
Oh, nice.
She's like, yeah, my uncle has a hearse we can use for the Ghostbusters thing. And he comes back at the end of the movie. He's like, where's my hearse? I need it. She's like,
about that.
It's in Ghostland. Like, it got sucked into this portal. And he's like, what do you mean? And he starts freaking out. And then Sigourney Weaver comes in. And then the girl that supposed to create all these gadgets. Sigourney Weaver was supposed to be like her mom.
Oh god.
And they walked in, and she's like, it worked out pretty well, but it was just, it was a mess.
All these old actors and actresses and comedians and trying to make themselves look funny again. It's painful now.
See, but it's funny because Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Sigourney Weaver, and Ernie Hudson were the funniest parts of those movies.
That's not a good thing. This is not a good thing. This movie is like 2 hours long, and the best part is cameos.
I told you, my favorite part of that movie was the cameos.
It's sad.
I didn't say it was good.
Well, no, I'm saying it's sad that you wrote it that badly.
That I rated it that badly?
No, not you, but whoever the writers were for the movie. That they wrote it so badly that
they wrote it so badly that it was almost like they didn't have writers.
Yeah, I mean, who wrote you know why the first one was funny? Guess who the writers were?
Who?
Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis, and then Rick Moranis, who was uncredited, but he was one of the writers.
Why didn't they call him back? Who did this one?
Rick Moranis actually stepped away from acting for 20 years. He just got back into it. But, all three of those guys, who are all hilarious, on their own.
Rick Moranis was, because I just realized who that was. He wrote it too?
Yeah, on IMDb, it says he was an uncredited writer. So...
I didn't know that. You know what? Thinking about it now, I just realized that he hasn't done any acting in years.
I just said that.
No, I'm saying I just realized. I know you just said it, but I just realized it because I was trying to think of any movie that he was in.
They did an article. Someone did an article about him recently that he stepped away from it because he wanted to focus on family life and whatnot.
A lot of people do that.
Which I was proud for because it wasn't like he went into the dumps and then went to family life.
Well, he did Brother Bear 2. In 2006, but that's the last...
he picked up the but major, not necessarily major acting roles, but on-screen roles,
right?
Not voiceover work. He's done voiceover work, but they said the major on-screen stuff he hasn't done in almost 20 years. So, I mean, good for him though, because he has.
Yeah, because the last thing he did was Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah, which is insane.
Well, Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves, because that was the second one to that movie series.
Yeah. No, that's crazy that he's been out that long. But
That's why it was funny. No, with those three, yeah, no, that's why it was funny.
oh yeah.
Because it had three funny guys writing it.
Well, I'm gonna kind of draw an interesting comparison here, right? So, what was everyone's like big deal with a lot of people's initial big deal with how much they hated it was that you just took the Ghostbusters and put 4 women in the place. Like you didn't change much of anything, except you didn't have a good writing crew. I know it's not movies, but that's the same problem that Marvel's having right now. Not the videos.
Well, these writers I've never heard of before.
Ivan Reitman.
There was Katie Digpole, Paul Fig, Ian Rittman. Oh, Dan Aykroyd in here.
Based on the 1984
okay.
film Ghostbusters, written by.
Right. Okay.
So they were.
Because I'm like, how could it be written by Harold Ramis? He was already dead at this point.
They didn't actually do anything.
So it was Paul Fig and Katie
Dippold. No, that's sorry. What the issue that those Ghostbusters in 2016 suffered from is the same thing that Marvel is supposedly suffering from now. The comic books, not the movies. Is that the writers are just trying to be so inclusive and so diverse, and so just trying to like appease certain people, certain groups,
right?
That their stories have gone down. Like the stories themselves are not selling; they're tanking. Like for example, they just out of the blue, right? Didn't have a killing storyline. Didn't have a he's dead but he'll come back soon storyline. They just switched out Thor for a woman.
What?
Yeah, they switched him out. Just no, not much of a heads up. Just this is Thor now, and people were like, "No offense, not that I don't want a woman Thor because that body with that breastplate. My gosh, no. They were just like, you could have given us a little heads up, or like they randomly
I mean, you could have
injected. They put this young black girl as the new Iron Man.
What?
Like this, just like it's.
No, I think I've heard about this. I think I knew this was coming, and I was waiting to see what the storyline was to transition from one to the other.
What do you mean? Oh, how? Yeah. Well, what it sounds like is it was abrupt. If it didn't just happen like that, and all of a sudden, oh hey, these are women and different minorities now, and people were like a lot of people were like, oh well, just comic book people are just they don't like minorities, and comic fans are like, no, we don't care, we legit like that's why everyone loves Luke Cage,
right?
That Netflix series did great.
Yeah,
it was awesome. So people like don't say that because it's not that we don't like the minority characters. We just don't like the characters we've come to know and love just immediately switched out like that.
Well, here's the problem, okay?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I don't know if we talked about this, but the whole gay rights thing, okay?
Yeah.
Everybody is perfectly fine with it,
Nah, some people.
Okay, some people. There are people who are not. But my point is they're throwing it in everything. Like they were talking about having it in what movie was it? Star Wars.
Yeah, Poe and
right.
And what's his name? Not Jin. Whatever the black guy is.
Anyway,
I can't remember his name. Sorry.
And it's kind of like Star Trek. There's the one actor who was gay.
Zulu, the guy who played Zulu.
Yep. And then they made
George
randomly
Takei, yeah.
Made his character gay in the new one.
Which George Takei said, don't do that.
Yeah, he's like, I've already developed this character. I'm all for having a gay character. Just don't make it him because he already. It's kind of like
it's established.
Right. And the problem is like, okay, so we've got gay rights. We've got women's rights still.
Yeah.
All fine and dandy. At this point,
with the exception of a few people,
everybody's pretty much good with it.
Everyone's pretty much on board.
But the problem that people have, that most everybody has, is they're taking it one step further and going, well, we want to have more roles in movies. That's fine. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
But you don't replace Iron Man.
Well,
like you don't replace iconic characters or
and the thing about the Iron Man
with
switch,
just really random women, because it's like you don't mess with, like, now don't get me wrong, you want to create a sidekick for Iron Man or have Iron Man
gets their own storyline because they're written that well,
right?
Yeah.
Or maybe you could finally kill off Iron Man. That's a thing, and then kind of like do a Batman Robin thing.
Yeah.
Instead of having a Robin, you have somebody that takes over Iron Man's suit because he no longer can, and maybe make that a woman.
Yeah.
But don't just abruptly be like, Tony Stark is now a female.
Yeah. And not just like a female, but she is a young black female. So she's not like an older,
well, I mean, they could have
more
even
accomplished individual. She's just like, oh, well, we want someone that.
Well, and it's random too.
Yeah.
Because I could see maybe like, okay, so for Tony Stark, for example, okay, he dies.
Yeah.
And his wife takes over the suit. I could see that.
Yeah.
But this is just some random chick off the street that was
who's all of a sudden now,
I want to be Iron Man.
And now she is.
And now she is. And that's wrong.
It is. And like there's.
That's kind of like Lois Lane becoming Superman.
Yeah, exactly. Like there was a couple different gay characters that came out for both Marvel and DC. I think the one there's like a couple of them in Marvel. It's Hulkling, which is the Hulk's son,
right,
and another Asgardian person named Wiccan, and they're a couple, and they're both in the Young Avengers. So it's like, okay, these are relatively unknown superheroes. Write them well, and people will love them, not really caring who
what gender they are, what
their sexual orientation is. They won't care because they're written well. On the opposite side, they brought back a Green Lantern who's gay and is going to be married soon or is currently married now, and people are like, okay, but
why?
Why did you bring this dead person? And obviously, there's been a multitude of comic book people that have covered it on YouTube. Honestly, if you want to hear more people's opinion, go on YouTube and look up comic book diversity, and you will get a whole ton of videos. But yeah,
right.
It's gotten crazy to the point where no one really cares. Just write them well.
Right.
Don't throw a wrench into the works just for the sake of diversity, because that doesn't end up making diversity work.
Right.
And I don't mean to say this. So we're about to say, I'm not trying to say in a harsh way, but look at the 1950s, right? With the desegregation of schools and stuff.
Right.
It was needed. Don't get me wrong. It was needed, and it should have happened. I'm not saying it shouldn't have happened. It needed to happen, and it did. But look how many generations it kind of took before people were kind of like, okay, I don't care anymore. It took one or two generations until after the fact. So
right.
So the high school kids back then in the 50s, which was like 10 or 15 years before my mom and dad were born.
Right.
Right. They didn't care.
Right.
But my dad still heard things from my grandpa that weren't necessarily okay to say in today's, in general.
Hey, I've heard stuff from my stepdad's father.
Yeah.
Because he was very, very, very much racist.
Yeah.
And when we moved into Flint, our very nice neighbor who was a deacon next door, he was African American.
Yeah.
His deaf son offered to mow our yard.
Okay.
And we're like, okay, cool. My mom, communicated to him like, we can't pay you. He's like, no, it's fine. I just want to
help out.
Yeah. We're like, okay, no problem. We just wanted to let you know that we can't pay you.
Yeah.
And I mean, it took a little bit because he was deaf, so we went out there with a whiteboard, and my mom wrote it like, I cannot pay you, and he's like, no, that's fine. We're like, okay, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
And my step-grandpa saw him in the backyard, and he said the N-word.
Uh-huh.
He said, why is that?
Yeah. Why is he out there
mowing our lawn?
Yeah.
And I stopped dead in my track. I said, what did you just say? He repeated it, and then my one of my older stepsisters was in town. She was married, and she was visiting. She was in town, and her and I were sitting there, and she walked over. She's like, you cannot say that. She's like, he is the neighbor's son, and she started, like, not laying into it, but telling him, like, he's the neighbor's son, be nice to him.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I was taken back. I'm like, okay, I've heard the word before.
But I've never had someone that's that close to me just drop it about somebody it's right next door.
Right, and he was seriously, like, mad.
Yeah.
But, and it wasn't like he could do anything about it. He was, sadly, he had a few strokes, and so he could, he was in a wheelchair, couldn't move much. He was hard for him to talk about. Anyway, but
that one word always comes out crystal clear. Right?
Oh, it did. And nothing before it, nothing after it. I heard the Y, the N-word, and mowing our yard.
Yeah, that after that was done.
And I'm like,
okay.
But so the problem with today is, one, they're injecting
they're injecting a narrative that, while it's good intentioned and it's nice and it's good to
everything.
It's injected to a point where it doesn't help your cause.
Like my grandma has gotten to the point where she's warmed up to the fact that, okay, this is a thing.
Yeah.
But she's like, I don't want it to affect, my life as it is. Like, I don't want all my shows to have this injected into it.
Yeah.
Some of them, that's fine.
Yeah.
But she just got so fed up that every one that she watched,
all of a sudden
had
a character that was and with some of them, it's their character is just black. It's not, or their character.
And she wasn't even. She was fine with that.
No. Not that's not what I mean. I mean, like, their whole character is just, this is the token black guy.
Right.
This is the token Latino guy. This is the token Asian guy. But be careful, he's Korean. He's not Chinese.
Right.
So it's.
Or like, this is the token gay guy that's just thrown in there to please everyone.
To make a certain group happy. And don't get me wrong, I'm fine. Like, there was on Mysteries of Laura, right? It's a now canceled show. I liked it. It had Deborah Messinger in it.
Right.
Who got famous with the Will and Grace show, right?
Yeah.
Hilarious show.
Which is coming back.
Which it is. But in the show, she works as a police officer or a detective. And there's this random little gay guy who works in the police department, and it's an odd place for him to be, but because it was kind of already, it was just like, it wasn't stated, but it was already
implied.
It was already implied. It was already understood. Hey, this guy just does desk work. He's here for the police department. He helps this character out, and he's a gay guy. That's okay. Have no one has a problem with that.
Right.
And you shouldn't have a problem with that. If you have a problem with that.
Well, it's kind of like I watched Shameless, okay?
Yeah.
And they developed one of the little brothers' characters to be gay.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool. And it like his love story is developing, and like all the other ones are, and I'm like, okay, cool, whatever, that's fine. But then you get stories like, I'm trying to think of some of them. There's just somewhere they just inject this in there, and it's irritating.
Yeah.
And then while this is going on, okay. Mm-hmm. So while everybody's just trying to adapt to this and get used to it, and like, okay, this is okay, and trying to convince the people that say this is not okay, that it is fine, it's accepted now. Then you've got Bruce Jenner going out and saying, you know what? Gay people get to, have their own group and get to be out. So can I.
Yeah.
Now you've got all these transgender people coming out.
Yep.
Which again is fine.
Yep.
I feel like it was odd timing.
It's not. I mean, you might feel it is, but if you look at how stuff goes, it was bound to happen.
And I say it was odd timing because we were starting to get to a place where everyone was starting to be okay with it.
Yeah.
Like a few more months when everybody was kind of like, okay, this is fine. Then be like, okay, here you go. You know what I mean? Because
Well, so the idea
but
is
then,
that you just piggyback. You keep piggybacking, and eventually everyone's happy.
But now, and the problem I have with that is, so they just started getting used to everything. But now you've got all these problems to deal with that you just got done. You're ready to take a break from, everything changing, and even more things are changing.
Yeah, you already went through a problem-solving puzzle, and now you're like, okay, my brain hurts. Time to take a little break.
It's kind of like you did an entire Sudoku book.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I'm gonna go take a nap, and then someone walks up to you and says, drink this monster and do another one. It's like,
I mean, it is like that. And again, neither I or Aaron are saying that we don't want gay characters or we don't want
transgender characters
or
black
or
purple,
any minority
green.
character. We're not saying that at all. Which, oddly enough, women are a majority in this country. 51% of this country is woman, 49% is man. And we are host.
Well, no. And then if you think about it, we are way more outnumbered because for every one girl, there are 2 boobs.
Gosh dang. We are putting ourselves in a hole here. But no, like we're not saying that we don't want them. We just want them written right. We want them written correctly. And if even like especially
so that they can get the storyline that they deserve. Not, hey, to make this group happy, we're gonna completely overhaul this character that everybody knows and loves.
Yeah.
To this. With no so abruptly.
Yeah.
That you need for any character, black, white, purple, green, I don't care. Mm-hmm. For any character, you need to have the basic storyline. Mm-hmm. And then slowly build them up. Like I said, for Tony Stark, okay? Mm-hmm. To kind of go back.
Yeah.
I'm fine with the change, okay?
Yeah.
The problem I have is why didn't they take this girl and say, oh, she was saved. Mm-hmm. She was curious.
About who Tony Stark was.
Or she ended up working at Stark Enterprises somewhere.
Yeah. And eventually, as she got older, she became Iron Man.
Right.
That's okay.
Or, I mean, it's kind of like, so there's this series that kind of spawned off Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Which is called Torchwood. Okay? Mm-hmm. Love this show. It's a great show. It had one of the main characters that was on Doctor Who for a while called Captain Jack. Mm-hmm. Okay? And this Torchwood was a place that was mentioned in Doctor Who, and it was reformed a couple times, and so this is the point when he takes it over and makes it friendly with the Doctor to help him, not work against him like it had been this entire series. Okay, so the spawn-off series comes on, and how they start the first episode is there's this girl who's like a constable. She's like a police officer.
Yep.
And there was this like dead body.
Uh-huh.
And all of a sudden they're like, "Don't touch this body!" And this crew in this weird-looking black van pulls up.
Yep.
They come out. They quarantine off the area. And they like use this, and she goes above on like a building above, and sees them pretty much bring this person back to life with this like iron glove looking thing.
Yeah.
For like a few seconds, talks to her. Like, how do you feel? Not any investigate. Like, how does this feel? Like, what they're trying to figure out how this thing works.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets curious, ends up a member of the team.
Yep.
And one of the main characters.
Okay.
Something like that.
Totally
would have been fine. Like, she could have been saved, happened to work at Stark Enterprises, one day happens to walk into the room, kind of like the wife did in the one Iron Man, and he's like,
this is not the weirdest thing you've caught me doing.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe she's told to bring a file up to Tony Stark. She gets all excited. She goes there, and he's kind of like,
hey, how's it going?
What's up? This is not what it looks like. So, and then, she becomes his assistant, and whatever.
Yeah.
You need to build a solid foundation.
That and if you are part of one of the groups who's pushing more for minority characters to be involved, good job. It is needed.
And it's working.
Given the right story and given the right push. But the only other issue I have is figure out what is acceptable to you then, as far as that character, because I know for a fact that a lot of the gay community, or specifically there's like gays and lesbians, have an issue with a lot of how gays and lesbians are portrayed in TV and film, because most of them are the sassy. If it's a gay guy, it's a sassy, feminine, most of the
time they sound like sassy
energy.
black women.
Exactly, and that a majority. I won't say majority because I don't know statistics, but that's not every gay guy.
No,
there are some there.
I've met some that are pretty masculine, actually.
And you're like, wow, I am not as masculine as you, and you're like, wow, that's eye-opening.
That's saying something.
That's eye-opening.
And
so, obviously, the token gay character is never gonna go away, right? That's always
no.
That's always going to be.
It's still even like they've got a token. Every different kind of person that there is. I mean, they've even got.
Well, look at South Park. There's one black kid, and you know what his name is? Token. I'm not even. It took me that long to figure out why his name was Token. Token black guy. I get it now.
Well, but they've also got the chef.
They do, but
now
Chef's dead. So, did you not know that?
I didn't know.
Oh
that.
yeah,
I really don't watch.
Chef got eaten by a bear and a cougar.
Nice.
But the with stuff like that, like I understand, like going back to Ghostbusters, which is what we were talking about originally.
Right.
The reason people were kind of a little like about Leslie Jones is because you know what the character she played?
Yeah.
She played a loud black lady that was supposed to be a janitor. So she portrayed herself as an uneducated person.
Right.
Playing a janitor who was loud and black.
Right.
And I don't know a lot, but I had seen articles, I had seen little blurbs written about, we don't want this to be the staple of this Ghostbusters movie for Leslie Jones.
Well, and I mean, you look at.
I thought some of the. I didn't see the movie. Totally,
I thought it was funny.
But yeah, exactly. Some of the things were funny, but they're like if you compare it to Ernie Hudson, who did it originally, right?
Right. He was a very educated.
He might have been a janitor, but he wasn't. He wasn't stereotyped. He was just the janitor who became part of the team, and so I know that was one of the complaints that originally occurred around Leslie Jones. Is that it doesn't have anything to do with the fact that she was black. It had the fact that she was playing a character that a lot of black people are tired of seeing in TV and film. They were been fine with the way that Ernie Hudson had originally played it. Just a smart person who was funny, but then again, that goes back to the whole joke that Honest Trailers made earlier. Everyone's trying to be the comic relief.
Right.
Since they're like, someone has to be Harold Ramis.
Yes.
Someone has to be Egon in this movie, and none of them were.
Well, and that's the funny part, because the person or the girl who was supposed to be that kind of, like, the smart one,
yeah,
was still trying to be funny.
Yeah.
And it was like, so you have...
That was Kristen Wiig, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have what? There were 4?
Mm-hmm.
4 people that are all trying to be funny and nobody being serious.
That's not how comedy works.
And then you have the guy who is supposed to play... Who was that guy we were talking about that hadn't acted for years?
Harold Ramis.
No.
No, not Harold. Gosh dang.
He played in Spaceballs and...
Oh gosh, why can't I think of his name? I know the guy. It's painful. Hang on a sec. Because I'm really sad right now. Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis. So, you know how his, like, girlfriend was supposed to be, like, she was kind of a little bit of, like, the comic relief because she was, like, the funny answer the phone secretary.
She's the quirky office secretary. Yeah.
Right. They had a dude that was...
Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, he was...
Well, it's like...
It was bad.
I know.
Because he was... Like, it wasn't just the fact that he was dumb.
Yeah.
He was like, man, what's that ringing? That's the phone. What phone? It's like, I'm like, oh my god. So there's like 10 minutes of them explaining,
they made him just dumb.
Just idiotic.
Yeah.
It wasn't even it wasn't even like a, man, I hear that ringing. And then like, it's a phone. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, he would forget what, like, 2 minutes after, or a minute after he was taking a message or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, no, you need to have some form of, like, a productive, funny, quirky character to play that role.
You can't all just be dumb slapstick.
No.
Because
and that's what it was.
It isn't Looney Tunes.
It's not. And that's what they were trying to go for. They failed, and the director sucked. And Dan Aykroyd really called them out on it. And I think it's funny.
It's hilarious. So
I think it's Dan Aykroyd's way of saying, listen, you wouldn't let me write this.
So
it's trash. You went over budget, and I'm tattling on you. Because you spoiled there not being a second one that I could have written.
Exactly. No, there was a second Ghostbusters.
No.
I mean a third.
The second remake.
Oh, okay. Maybe.
Because if that movie would have done good, they probably would have done a second one. Hopefully, at that point, they would have let Dan Aykroyd
step back in
and write it so that it was like, I think they should have just trashed that one, did another remake, let Dan Aykroyd do it, and since the old cast was good, but, you know, the character sucked, recast, because, you know, they had the chance and they failed.
Yeah.
Recast and do it right.
Mm-hmm.
Or just don't do it at all.
Yeah. I mean, to be perfectly honest, it was kind of a...
It was sad.
Well, no, I meant the discussion we just had. That was a very roundabout discussion. Like that, we covered a lot of ground. I mean, we went from Ghostbusters to how forced diversity doesn't help an art form, and then we got back to Ghostbusters. I don't know. I'm impressed that we were able to get back, because I thought we were about to be stuck in wandering around in the desert, and then people were going to try to like crash the show because we were talking about because we sound like we were anti-diversity for a sec.
Anyway, so kind of moving on. No, I just love how Dan Aykroyd was like, "You suck." Yeah. He went way over budget. Yes. The movie sucks. Forget you.
You suck. Go home.
Like, I just love it.
Okay. So this next little bit, we got a bit of a movie review.
Well, hold on.
Whoa.
So I think this is going to be a thing that we're going to try to do every week. And Lucas and I are sitting here just thinking, and I don't remember what got us on this, but we're sitting there and we're like, we should review movies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, we already kind of do that. And he's like, no. We should review movies on Netflix.
Yes.
I'm like, okay. And I said, but what movies? And then I got the idea, why don't we do a new movie and an old movie and compare them?
Yeah.
And so we got this idea. We picked out some movies. He didn't do his homework.
Hey, Netflix did not let me do my homework. Okay.
I found it. How didn't you?
I don't know. I looked it up today. Like Adventureland, it's like, did you mean Adventureland with My Little Pony? No. That does not look like Kristen Stewart. I mean, not much looks like Kristen Stewart, so that definitely doesn't look like Kristen Stewart. But yeah, so we're gonna call this fresh and retro, even though the retro.
No, we're gonna call it the fresh and retro picks of the week.
Picks of the week. Okay. I'm sorry. I apologize for my incorrect speech. However, our retro for this week, Adventureland, isn't exactly retro. I mean, it's older now, but it's not like we're not talking about original Ghostbusters retro. Like we're not talking.
Which wouldn't be a bad one to do.
It would not be a bad one to do. Just don't make me do Citizen Kane, because I don't think I can sit through that movie. It's supposed to be really good, but I think I'd probably.
I don't know. The Big Short was kind of rough.
Was it?
It was rough.
Okay, so let's start with The Big Short. Why was it rough?
Okay, so The Big Short. So when we pick these movies, we watch the trailers, and we're like, okay, these are going to be two comedies. Great. Let's pair them together. The Big Short was not a comedy.
It wasn't?
No. It was pretty much hey, this is why the economy fell.
I was going to say, wasn't that like what it ended up being?
Yes, it ended up being like, this is how the economy fell. This is the reason. And now there were some things that I liked about it, okay? So it was really hard to sit through because there were a lot of big words. And when I say big words, I'm not talking like, It were just words that I couldn't understand. I'm talking like there were a huge words talking about trading stocks and trading this and shorting the banks on mortgages because they were thrown into these. It was really, really complicated. Like, I had to pause it and ask my girlfriend, I'm like, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
Because she's an accountant and she could follow it. I'm like, what are they talking about? And she kind of dumbed it down for me a little bit because I just couldn't understand it.
Yeah.
And there was no really entertaining part to it. There were a couple times, like...
For those of you who are wondering, by the way, why the whole economy collapsed, the banks. Just put it that way, the banks messed up.
That's what it was.
So, continue, please.
They pretty much took a good idea...
Yeah.
And they started running out of that good idea, so they started filling it with crap. And it pretty much turned in... Our economy was like a giant Jenga set.
Yeah.
And they were filling the bottom pieces with putty.
Yeah.
And the top pieces were solid. Anyway.
So basically, what you're telling me is that regardless of the little like witty quips that end up getting thrown in there,
all the witty quips that you saw, were the ones that were in the trailer.
Oh god.
Like okay, so there were a couple good things. One good thing is like they had some good words, and so they're like, okay, mortgages, and they're like. And they said that they were in these things, and they were using some big words, and they're like, okay, pause. And they broke the fourth wall, and they're like, for those of you that don't know, here is, who's the girl?
That was the one with, like, Charlize Theron in a bathtub?
No, who's the girl that played Harley Quinn?
Oh, I don't know.
The new Harley Quinn.
I didn't see Suicide Squad. I'm sorry. There have been enough movies coming out recently that I just look at and say, nah. And then I hear about them, like, yeah, I'm glad I didn't waste money on that.
What is her name?
I don't know. I really don't know. You're not. Here, keep talking about the Big Short.
She is.
I'll look about it.
I've got it. She is Margot Robbie.
Okay.
No, but he's like, here's Margot Robbie in a bathtub to explain. And so she's in a bubble bath with wine explaining what's going on.
And she looks at you all snide, like, I understand this because I'm smart. And
no, but it was funny because she dumbed it down. Yeah. And then later they're like, here's Selena Gomez and this really smart guy to kind of smart statistics guy to help you explain.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, cool. But they only did that like 2-3 times. And so they're like, anytime, he's like, so pretty much anytime, so they broke the fourth wall a couple times. But it was a really dry movie. Yeah. It was super dry. I almost fell asleep. You said you did fall asleep. You tried to watch it and you fell asleep.
Yeah. Well, that's not so much because of the content. It was because I woke up at 2:30 this morning and I got 2 hours of sleep. So I was tired. But
no.
So basically, this whole entire movie basically boils down to a bunch of rich celebrities saying, "Hey, guess what? We were okay during 2008 to 2014." But you weren't, so we're going to tell you why you weren't okay. We already know why we weren't okay.
Well, no, and it was like, okay, the economy crashed. Here's what they told you. This is what really happened.
Yeah.
And it was like, I was waiting for, like, it has Steve Carell in it.
Yeah.
He played a very serious role.
You're waiting for Steve Carell to just kind of bust out.
Right.
Into...
I was waiting for some form of, not even bust out in comedy. Like, he did a really good job at a serious role. But I was waiting for, like, some Ocean's 11 crap to break out.
Yeah.
Like, they were going to really profit off this. And they did, but it wasn't really like they were profiting. They like, once they profited, they're like, oh, crap. Everybody's going to lose their houses. They're going to lose their jobs. Our economy is going to take a giant dump.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it had Brad Pitt in it. And I mean, it was a very star-studded film, but it was very dry. You would have to like be super into the economy in order to enjoy this movie.
I mean, it's like I said. That's why it's kind of now I'm not too upset I didn't get to see it, but I have an issue with celebrities making because like you said it was a star-studded film, so obviously someone set out the script to a bunch of Hollywood elites,
right?
And said, "Hey, guess what? We all think the exact same way, so we're going to show these everyday people why we were able to stay rich when they were having to make soap for Christmas. I actually, no kidding, one Christmas I had to make soap with my mom and dad for a family present to all our other family members. But a bunch of Hollywood elites telling people, you know, and saying what, you know, what they all thought.
Right.
And that's great. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I'm against like when Meryl Streep stands up at the award show or when Meryl Streep says stuff like, you know, women need to have more roles, and it's like, yeah, okay, good. Can I just get on with this award show?
Right.
It's not that I wish you would stop talking, or like when you hear celebrities say stuff about politics.
Right.
I don't care. I don't. That's their right to say whatever the heck they want, especially when it comes to film.
Right.
But don't keep acting like you are the be-all, end-all knowledge of this, you know, particular subject. Like, I don't want to take Steve Carell's opinion on economic balance. He's done pretty well for himself.
Well, and it wasn't his opinion. It wasn't really opinions. It was.
I know. But what I mean is,
right.
Like, if I wanted to understand what truly happened to the economy back in 2008, I go to an accountant or I go to an economist and have them, all right, without BSing me, what happened? Like I understand, you know, market crashed, housing bubble fell through because banks gave out too much money, but they couldn't.
Well, that really wasn't what it was. It was they were giving out mortgages that were pretty much filled, or
that's what I mean.
Yeah, they were giving out mortgages that were pretty much they were adjustable. What was it? Adjustable interest rates.
Mm-hmm.
And they were selling all these adjustable interest rate.
That's what I mean by
mortgages
banks giving out money.
And they were pretty much filled with crap.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is that
they weren't backed up by anything, and so that you know, housing bubble pretty much popped.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like a Jenga set. Somebody ripped the bottom, like I said, it was like the bottom pieces were made out of, like, you know, that stuff that when you move it really fastly.
Toothpicks instead of Jenga sticks.
Pretty much. No, and then the top pieces were Jenga pieces.
Yeah. Well, that's what I meant, is that, like, I got a pretty solid grasp of what happened.
Right.
You know, it wasn't banks giving out money, obviously. I meant, in a sense, like you said, mortgages, lending money to people that couldn't pay it back.
Right.
And when they couldn't pay it back, because here was the thing, it wasn't just like everyday people. It was people that had low-income housing, who were basically low-income housing people.
Right.
Right.
Or they were landlords that rented out their houses.
Yeah, and so these people that don't have a whole lot of income coming in. So with these adjustable rate, or since they're not fixed rates, they're adjustable rates. They keep going up and down. People can't pay them back. Then the banks can't hit to foreclose, but there's not enough money, and and then eventually there's no more money.
Right.
For everybody. So I get that, but it's just. It's celebrities telling me things like, you guys didn't know. It's like, no, if you actually just sat down and listened to what an economist was saying, you know, you could figure out, oh, that's because we let.
Well, and they were saying, like, okay, this guy called it before everyone else.
Yeah. And
these guys figured it out too, and this guy got pitched an idea that, you know, this was happening, and they all did what was called short the banks on these.
Yeah.
And that's why it was called The Big Short and blah, 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 blah. But so it was very, very, very dry. It was very, very, very boring. I had to pause it quite a bit to try to figure out what was going on.
Uh-huh.
And that was it. So that was a movie made in 2015. We jumped to our retro pick of the week, which was Adventureland.
I did watch the little bit of the trailer with you.
Yeah.
It was funny.
It was really funny.
I couldn't get on Netflix.
You should try it again.
Okay.
Because it was really funny. It wasn't just funny though. So there was a bit of seriousness to it as well.
In what sense? Like are we talking like Kristen Stewart just being like, hi, serious, or are we talking like there was like an actual deep plot point during the movie?
There was actually a deep plot point.
Okay.
During the movie, and so what this movie was about is there was this kid, Let me see if I can pull it up. Now, I don't want Adventure Time.
That's what.
There it is.
Yeah.
So it had Jesse Eisenberg in it.
Jesse freaking Eisenberg.
I like him. A lot, actually.
It was a joke. This is from something else.
Kristen Stewart, Ryan Reynolds,
Kristen Wiig,
Bill
Hader.
Yeah, so it had a lot of really good people in this movie. And Jesse Eisenberg's character was named James. And he pretty much came from like this rich family. And how the movie starts out is he is, he's like, okay, thank you guys for the Europe trip. I'm this much short. I'm going to need, if you wouldn't mind, I needed like an extra $200. Or this much extra. I'm kind of low on my budget for this Europe trip. Mm-hmm. And they're kind of like, well, yeah, about that. Listen, your dad lost his job. We're broke. You're not going. We think you should get a summer job. And so he looks and looks and looks, and he's like, how can I not even get job for manual labor?
Yeah.
So he's like, well, I'm thinking I'm going to get a job at this theme park called Adventureland. Mm-hmm. Hence the title of the movie. And they're like, no, you hurt yourself the last time you were there, blah, 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 whatever. He'd never worked there. He'd just gone there as a kid. And so he went to work there, and you had Ryan Reynolds, who was the maintenance guy. Mm-hmm. You had, and then you had all, like, there were the game runners and the ride, like, there were the games and the rides. You were either running a game or you were on a ride. It was almost kind of like a rival gang type thing.
Oh, jeez.
Like, the game guys were, like, the nerdy kids, and the ride guys were really cool.
Yeah.
And so
if you've ever been to a theme park or a shoddy theme park like that, you'll know that everyone there is kind of just sad. So it doesn't really.
Well, and then you had Bill Hader, who played Bobby, the owner of the theme park.
And it wasn't Kristen Wiig his wife.
Kristen Wiig was his wife, Paulette. And so it was a really good movie. Kristen Stewart was one of the gamers, along with Jesse Eisenberg's character James, and some of the other people. And so it's going through this thing. Well, he starts to develop a thing for why can I not remember her name? I just said it. Kristen Stewart, M.
Yeah.
So he started to develop this thing for her, and they're kind of back and forth. Well, the reason they're back and forth is because she's sleeping with Ryan Reynolds' character, who is a married maintenance guy.
Oh my!
And he's pretty much like they go over to his mom's house.
Oh my!
Into like his little studio area type thing.
His studio.
But that's pretty much like the thing, and so she's fighting herself because she kind of has a hots for Ryan Reynolds' character. But they start to develop her and Jesse Eisenberg's character develop this thing, and like they go. He's invited to one of her parties, and she doesn't like. She likes him, so they go pretty much skinny dipping together. And
That's would tell if someone likes you or not.
So there's a whole bunch of like. I like you, and
I like you, but Ryan Reynolds is hotter.
But he didn't know. So this whole movie, like,
oh, okay.
Sometimes she would blow him off, he would blow her off. They became a thing, and it was still happening behind.
Blow him off.
And there was
sorry.
But this was going on behind his back, and then he found out, and he was going out with. I'm trying to find her name. But there was like this girl that when she came back, everybody's like, "Oh my God, this girl's back!" And
was she like the
Lisa
resident
P.
hot girl?
Her name was Lisa P.
Yeah.
And she came back, and they're like, "Oh my God, Lisa P is back!" So then he goes on a date with her, and nothing happens, and so then this kind of blows up, and Kristen
Stewart's face.
Kristen Stewart's character's like, "Oh my God!" And so, they pretty much spend the whole summer together, and it's kind of on and off type thing. And then it gets really good. Like, he finds out that she's been doing, and he actually finds out. She goes to Ryan Reynolds like to meet him.
Yeah.
and then says, "No, I'm not going to do this anymore. I like this guy." And Jesse Eisenberg's character catches her coming out of his house, confronts her, calls her names, and then the next day she pretty much goes in. He goes on another date with Lisa P.
Yeah.
Spills the fact that she was the one that was seeing Ryan Reynolds' character, because that was kind of like everybody knew that something had happened the year before, but nobody knew who he was happening with.
Mm-hmm.
And so then it got spread all throughout the park that it was her. So she quit. And then
dirty girl.
Well, and he wanted to go to school out of state in New York. So they were kind of developing this plan to go to New York together. And so the end of the movie, she just goes back to New York, and he decides he's going to go and find her. Goes and find her. They live happily ever after. Oh, and one of the main storylines is he's a virgin in this whole movie.
Of course he is. Of course Jesse Eisenberg is a virgin trying to get his first. What else would he play?
No, that's
Lex
a different
Luthor.
guy. That's a completely different guy, I'm telling you. Because Jesse Eisenberg...
Who else plays that?
Because he didn't play in Superbad.
Yes, that was Jesse Eisenberg.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. No, that was Michael Cera.
Yes, it was Michael Cera.
That was Michael Cera.
They look
They're
alike.
the exact same. They're the exact same person.
Anyway.
Jesse Eisenberg just decided to play Mark Zuckerberg one time, and everyone's like, "Oh, you're so great."
Anyway.
But
So, and then the end that, they finally do it together in New York, but it was actually a good movie. They had, they kind of had like the back and forth. It wasn't like hey, they're in love, they go on a date, something horrible happens,
dad dies in a car fire.
Right.
Watch out.
No, it was, they kind of like each other, they're not really sure where they're at, they kind of like the casually date. She's got a secret.
Reynolds, and then,
she's got a secret. He's got a secret. He reveals his. She doesn't reveal her. It's like.
Well, it didn't sound like his secret was that big a deal. He was just dating another girl.
He wasn't really dating her.
Yeah.
He went on one date because she offered.
Yeah, and then Kristen Stewart's character is just
was sleeping around with
is a floozy with a married man.
Pretty much. But
I feel that these two don't exactly balance out. Like it sounds like the movie trying to be like, well, they both had secrets.
Well, no, but it was but it also showed her backstory. Like, so her mom had died, and her new stepmom was pretty much
awful,
a witch.
Yeah,
because she cared. And it was funny because they threw in the fact that her stepmom wore a wig.
Oh no!
Because they both met because of stress or something from her last relationship.
Yeah.
So she was bald, and she wore a wig, but she cared about classes. She cared about how high of a class she was in.
Oh, okay, social class.
Right. And so her dad had a lot of money, but she didn't have to work at this park. She did it to get out of the house.
I see, okay.
So it was kind of like daddy issues, so I'm sleeping with this older guy.
Of course, because what else would you do?
No, but I mean, but it showed the backstory, and it showed that she wasn't really too proud of herself.
Well, that's good, at least.
So it was really good acting on all the parts. Kristen Stewart didn't just play like the
mopey,
no,
blank-faced individual.
She was like a confused, not sure how she was feeling, kind of, adult, because they were adults. She was in her 20s.
If you're in a bedroom with Ryan Reynolds, you're feeling some kind of way. I mean, let's be honest here.
But I mean, no, anyway, so it was a good movie. Out of both of them, The Big Short was a big flop.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Nice job.
Oh,
Proud
thank
of you.
And I would give it, if you don't like or don't care about the economy, I'd give it a 1 star.
Well, I wouldn't even say if you don't care about if you just don't like having a long, drawn-out plot that could easily be explained in a 30-minute...
Right.
A dumbed-down 30-minute explanation, don't go see Big Don't go back and watch Big Short.
So here's my new rating system. Because Netflix was dumb and took away the stars, I'm adding the stars back.
Thanks, Amy Schumer.
So I am going to give these all star ratings, and this one gets a 1 star.
Okay.
Adventureland, I would give, and these are out of 5, I'd give a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5, okay.
Because you would take a lot to get a perfect score.
Yeah.
And it was good enough that I would watch it again.
But it wasn't like a stellar.
It wasn't like The Hangover where I was, laughing. Like, I watched another movie, which it was not on Netflix, and I wish I could, was on Netflix so we could watch it.
Yeah.
It was called Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Oh, I know that one. Yeah.
It was good. Like, that was a 5.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was so much emotion, and there was kind of like there was a storyline that was slowly creeping up. You slowly find out why he was this way.
Isn't it Jesse Eisenberg too?
No.
Is it Michael Cera?
No. It's neither.
I'm looking this up.
You be my guest, because it was not either one. Anyway, no. So it was just. It had Emma Watson in it.
Logan Lerman.
Yep. So it was pretty much about these 3 people. There was one guy who was new. He was kind of he was pretty much like a hermit. He didn't really want to talk to anybody. He was counting down the days from when high school was over. He was a freshman. He was hanging out with 2 to 3 seniors. One played by Emma Watson, who he had a crush on,
Mm-hmm.
and then her gay
brother.
stepbrother. And
who wasn't, because it's back in the 1970s, so he couldn't be out of the closet.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was supposed to be.
Was it?
Yeah, because remember he.
Because he was out.
I mean, it could have. No, he wasn't. Oh, he was out. You're right.
He was out, but he was dating the football star who was not out.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's all these different storylines going on, but you've got it. This kid is kind of. It keeps unveiling who he is
slowly
and why he is the way he is.
Yeah.
And then there's kind of like a big shock factor in the end of why he is how he is, and it's just an all around good movie. And so Adventureland was not that good, but it was definitely really good. Like it was definitely, I would give it a solid 4 stars. Simply because the storyline was great. They had some mystery on there. It wasn't like it wasn't like a Hallmark movie where they meet. It's true love at first sight. They start going out. Something horrible happens and they break up, and then they get back together and live happily ever after. It's not doesn't follow that
storyline.
That Hallmark storyline. It's got she's kind of got daddy issues, and so she's sleeping with this married dude. He likes her and is trying to do whatever he can, but they never said that they were exclusive, so he went on a date with someone else, and so it's got a really good storyline to it. It doesn't get boring. It's kind of always on their toes. He gets friends and he loses friends, and it's just all around a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd give it a solid 4 stars. So if you're looking on something for Netflix tonight, if you type in Adventureland, hopefully you find it, because apparently he didn't. But it was really good. I really liked it. I would watch it again. And that's it. And
that's good. It's a good wrap up for that.
Thank you.
I mean, it's good. It's how it is, and if you don't like it, piss off. And
yeah, I just like I said, I was not at all pleased with The Big Short. Like I said, I was expecting it to be kind of like an Ocean's 11 type thing where they were going to scam somebody out.
Scam the banks. We're going to make a bunch of money.
Right. And so I thought it was going to be like there's going to be this cool plot. No, it was super boring.
It was a mockumentary, basically.
Pretty much.
That's sad.
It is very sad.
It's so sad.
Yeah. It was bad. I just can't get over how bad it was.
So I was looking up the cast for the Perks of Being One, and you're right, it wasn't like you said it wasn't
Jesse Eisenberg
or Jesse Eisenberg. It was the kid that plays Percy Jackson. In the Percy Jackson.
I knew I recognized him somewhere.
But I clicked on the who's supposed to be the gay brother, just because I'd never seen him before as an actor, because he hasn't been in anything.
Yeah.
Basically, but they on the Wikipedia page, apparently he got arrested for having 20 grams of pot on him, which is a lot of pot. Okay, it's a lot
Right.
of pot. And his statement, Miller faced a penalty of $600 for 2 citations of disorderly conduct, because the charges for marijuana possession were dropped. But his comment was, "I don't feel like there's any need to hide the fact that I smoke pot. It's a harmless herbal substance that increases sensory appreciation."
He sounds like Willie Nelson.
I could not imagine. There is no other way other than being in Hollywood that you say sensory appreciation for a drug that makes you go.
He sounds like Willie Nelson.
Dude.
Did I tell you the story a while back? Willie Nelson's bus got stopped.
Oh dear.
And
Oh dear.
he's like, "What's wrong, officer?" He's like, "There was a report that there were drugs on this bus." He's like, "There's drugs on my bus?" So then they search the bus and they find a whole bunch of weed. And he's like, or they're like, "What'd you find?" He's like, "We found drugs." And he's like, "There's not," he freaked out. And they're like, "Yeah, we found this much weed." He's like, "That's not a drug." Like, because it was his.
Gotta love Willie.
But and it's funny because everybody knows it.
Oh, everyone knows Willie's.
And I feel like those cops were like targeting him.
Well, here's the thing. If they pulled him over, they just end up pulling him over, and
Well,
okay, dude, we're not even gonna. We know there's weed here. We just wanted to get an autograph.
No, they arrested the bus driver.
Oh, gee. Why not arrest Willie? He's the one that has the weed.
No, the bus driver was driving, so he was technically the one in possession.
Are you kidding me? That's why Willie has a bus driver, so he doesn't get to go to jail. What a piece of crap!
But then they bailed him out, and it ended up, being all fine. But it was just like, I'm like, seriously, dude. Anyway, no. One thing I wanted to say is, so in this movie, Perks of Being a Wallflower, there was this girl.
Before we go any further.
What?
Before we go any further.
What?
I just found out that said actor that I said has not been in anything since basically Perks of Being a Wallflower, except for, what was it? Hang on. Co-starred in the drama the Stanford Prison Experiment in the comedy Trainwrecked in 2015.
He was in Trainwrecked.
You're not going to like what I'm going to say.
Uh-oh.
Warner Brothers announced that Ezra Miller will star as Barry Allen in the live-action film adaptation of the DC character The Flash, set to be released in 2018.
I don't know. He was a very good actor.
No! I'm sorry. This guy... I remember this guy in the freaking movie. He has no muscles. He is a twig. I understand the Flash is not a big guy.
Hang on.
But for the love of crap, don't give me a pint-sized little... What are those tube cleaner things that we used to... Pipe cleaners that we used to bend and make braids out of back in elementary. Don't tell me you're going to set up something like that. Be a superhero. The only superhero needs to be is Reed Richards, and he's not even freaking old enough to be Reed Richards.
Hang on.
No.
So how long was that movie since The Perks of Being a Wallflower was made?
It has been 5 years.
Okay. Do you not realize what could have happened in 5 years? Do you not remember what happened to Josh from Drake and Josh in 5 years?
Nothing.
The dude's ripped. He got super thin and got ripped.
Yeah, because he plays music. That's the only thing he has to do. He doesn't act anymore. He makes witty comments about Justin Bieber fans on Twitter and plays freaking music. Probably would join Willie on his tour bus.
That was Drake.
You're talking about Josh.
Josh, the big round. He was round in the beginning, and he got really thin in the end.
And now he just looks like a stoner.
Anyway,
have you seen? Did you see the remake of Red Dawn?
No. Yes.
Yeah, that was him in that.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
No. Anyway,
and he's like, "Bro, the Koreans aren't very."
Anyway, but what I'm saying is, this dude. For all we know, right now, this dude could be ripped and could be.
I'm looking it up now. I gotta find out.
Okay.
So
anyway,
I'm gonna do that.
So back to the movie. So there was this girl named Mary Elizabeth. Do you remember her?
And Perks of Being a Wallflower?
Yes.
No.
He was the one. She was the one that dated what's his face? Charlie from Logan Lerman, the guy who played in the Percy Jackson.
Yeah.
So she dated him, and it was funny because he knew that he was in love with Emma Watson's character. So that made this weird. But may I point out, when did we start pulling names from Clifford? Her name was Mary Elizabeth.
There are no pictures of this man.
And then...
gosh! Oh, gosh!
Let me finish.
Okay.
That's what she said. Anyway, but she... So I looked up what she played in, because I'm like, I know she played in something that I saw recently. She played in The Duff. Do you remember the movie The Duff?
Is that about Hillary Duff?
No. No, The Duff was about a high school senior who anyway.
You wanna finish that thought process?
I'm working on it. She pretty much figures out that there was a label called the Duff, or the Designated Ugly Fat Friend. And so
that's me.
But this
Oh, you weren't expecting it, were you? You weren't expecting it. No.
Anyway, no. So she's like in love with this dude in this movie. She's in high school. She has a crush on this guy, and oddly enough, Bella Thorne played like the popular mean girl type thing.
Yeah.
And so this girl found out that she was the Duff. Her name was Bianca.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then it had, but it had like this strong, like muscular football player. And so she likes him,
mm-hmm.
and he likes her, but she doesn't realize it. And she was told by Bella Thorne, because Bella Thorne dates this guy originally, that she's the Duff.
She's the Duff.
And so she's going through the whole movie like, I can't believe it, blah, 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 blah. So it was a great movie. It was another comedy. But I was just like, I know her. Where do I know her from? Where do I know her from? Where do I know her from? And it was just like, I'm like, the Duff, that's it. So, and apparently she played in the 1996 version of Independence Day. So the original Independence Day. Don't know what she played, but she played in the original Independence Day.
Okay, this pint-sized piece of turd is not going to be the... I'm sorry, I listened to everything you just said, but I'm stewing over here at this revelation that should not be a revelation. Hey, I got an idea. You just had a multi-season series called The Flash on the CW. Bring that guy to be the Flash. Why would you? He's already the Flash. Why would you train somebody else who looks nothing like a superhero? At least that guy's toned. This guy is a pipe cleaner.
And this
He's
is
a snake. He's a drain snake is what he is. He scoops the scum off the freaking innards of your... I am so mad. I shouldn't be as mad, but I am mad.
And now you wonder why I gave you the good microphone, is because I don't care how, where you're at. You're so loud.
Oh, gosh.
He's like leaning back in his chair screaming, and it's still coming across like he's sitting in front of the microphone.
Bob Saget, man. I mean...
Bob Saget, what?
It's opposed to saying GD. You say Bob Saget.
Oh, right.
Bob Saget.
Is it kind of like that, the guy from that had Tourette's? He's like, Bob Saget!
But yeah,
oh, man.
yeah. I'm sorry. I looked up this guy's name, 2017.
He's a twig.
He is not huge. All right, he is the exact opposite of huge.
He's not huge.
He is just a.
I thought he was huge.
He's not huge. I mean, especially next to Jason Momoa, who's freaking, who's Aquaman. Like, he looks like a midget. Jason Momoa is 6'4", and like he plays probably sitting at, I don't know, maybe 250 pounds. You know, he's not a huge guy. He's a big guy, but he's not huge, right? This dude is like has his arm up around him. He has to reach to put his arm up around him.
Wait, so was he the one that played in the original trailer? Like the clip that came out of
supposedly, yeah, it was
of like Batman
him.
Where he's like he throws the bat.
That's supposed to be him.
Okay.
Which
I can see it though, because that was really good.
He first appeared as the character in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice and Suicide Squad, and will reprise the role in Justice League.
I mean, we're already just mad about Justice League in general. We need to go and see it together, because I just want to see you in the theater.
I'm going to be sitting in the freaking movie theater having an aneurysm!
You're going to be sitting there. I just want to see you go, no!
No! Not this bite-sized piece of pencil neck! Get him off the screen! Put somebody else in there! Put Oprah Winfrey, damn it! I'll take anybody at this point in time!
Lucas, I love you. Oh.
Gosh, dang, man! I mean, we already got a stud-craft cast. I don't need a little guy playing the freaking Flash. He doesn't have to be ripped. He doesn't have to be Dwayne The Rock Johnson. But he has to be at least Zac Efron. For God's sake.
I think you would have taken Zac Efron over this guy.
Yes! And Zac Efron can act like a normal functioning human being. This kid is only acting as a freaking outsider in his own family. How the heck am I going to believe him as the Flash? If I have to suspend disbelief for a superhero movie, it better be a good suspension of disbelief. Only thing I'm suspending right now is my freaking vocal cords from the inside of my throat.
You're not going to be able to talk after this.
Oh, I probably will. They will come back tomorrow. They'll be a little sore, but they'll be like, how you doing? So...
No comment.
Oh, gosh. I'm going to be sitting in this movie theater going, no.
You're just going to get up and walk away shaking your head.
Going, okay, that's Cyborg. That's okay. There's no Martian Manhunter. Oh, that's not great, but that's okay. Oh, Jason Momoa. He's a good Aquaman. Henry Cavill, why are you back playing Superman? You're supposed to be dead. And then this little twerp shows up, says, "Hi, I'm the Flash. Get out of here!"
What are you making, Cartman the Flash now?
Yes!
Oh.
Okay, I'm done.
Are you sure?
No, but I don't think anyone wants to hear me scream anymore. Your grandmother's going to be angry at me for yelling on your podcast.
Oh, man. Okay.
Love you, Grandma.
I'm glad you got that out of your system.
Oh, it's not out yet. I'm going to be screaming the entire way home. I am an angry, vengeful little piece of crap.
Well, you're not little.
Not little at all, but...
Okay.
I'm a little dinosaur turd.
So I think that's pretty much wraps it up for us. Like I do every week, I just want to let you know that if you like something about our show, didn't like something about our show, hated his ranting, loved his ranting, agree with him,
if you want me to shout more, please
disagree with him, want him to shout more, just let us know. You can hit us on the Topic Talks Facebook page. We do not have a Twitter. That is still pending. At this point, it's turning into the whole Matt Damon joke at the end of Jimmy Kimmel.
When will we make a Twitter?
So...
I mean, we made a zoo, but we didn't make a Twitter.
we ran out of time for Matt Damon. Tune in next week. But no, anyway, so it was yeah. So if you have any input, please let us know. Otherwise, we'll just keep doing it how we're doing it. If you like us doing it how we're doing it, say something. Give us some thank you for doing what you do.
It makes us feel warm and fuzzy.
It does. I get super happy when I turn off this broadcast and it tells me you have had this many viewers. I go, woo!
He's like the end of Sister Act. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day.
I love that movie. Both 1 and 2. Anyway, so like I said, I think that's pretty much it for us. You can contact us all on pretty much Facebook. You can also go to Spreaker.com. While you're watching or while you're listening to this, go to Spreaker.com. Give us a like there too. I check all of them. Like us on Facebook. We are on YouTube. Like us on YouTube. Like us anywhere that you see our name. And if you ever want to put in some input during the show, if you want to... I'm going to open this up. If you want to record a little tidbit and want us to play it during the show, I will be more than happy to do that. if you send me a little clip going on a rant yourself, I may chop it up a little bit.
I love rants. Do it.
I may chop it up a little bit to make it a little bit shorter if it's too long, but we will air it and either make fun of you, agree with you, or
I might rant next to you.
or
Wherever you leave off, I just might take off in a whole different direction.
and then we may pick one lucky listener who has submitted something to come on the show and rant with Lucas.
Gosh,
So-
I hope you're ready.
Nobody could ever be ready for that, buddy.
No, probably not.
Anyway, so I like I said, I think that pretty much wraps it up. For this week, tune in next week for another one of our retro and
Retro and
fresh and retro picks of the week. We're gonna pick two new movies and review those. Watch them on Netflix. So keep an eye out for that. If you like the new segment, let us know. And other than that, I'm Aaron Klingsmith
I'm Lucas Sanders.
signing off.